back in Event 3, it was Brandon Wilson in 3rd place. Chris Brewer in 2nd, and Sam Soverel won the title. Is it deja vu all over again? All three are back at the final table of Event 7. Now, over 300 grand is on the line, not to mention the coveted Golden Eagle. The US Poker Open just went into overdrive. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Welcome back to Las Vegas and the PokerGO studio, to be exact. Just a short walk away from the Aria Resort and Casino Poker Room. We are here for final table coverage of event number 7. It is a $15,000 no-limit hold'em event. There's a ton of money up top, and of course, lots of points up for grabs in the race for the 2023 US Poker Open standings. Jeff Platt and Maria Ho are on the call on PokerGO.com, so go join them if you feel so inclined. My name is Remko Rinkema. Donnie Peters alongside me to call the action here on our YouTube channel. Sean Winter here. Already 13 US Poker Open cashes. Sam Soverel already sitting on 10. These guys are a staple inside this beautiful building. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, let us know in the chat, where are you watching from? What are you enjoying? Maybe a beverage, maybe some lunch. We are here to enjoy some high stakes poker tournament action. Masashi Oya is our chip leader. 2 cashes and 2 final tables back in 2022 for $615K. And today, he's going to try and beat the Americans at this final table. Darren Elias, World Poker Tour legend, 2nd in chips. Brandon Wilson, Chris Brewer, and Sam Soverel have already done really well here at the USPO. And then Sean Winter is our short stack. 87 entries, 13 players cashed. And let's find out who's going to win this event and who is going to leap up the standings, as we have a lot of implications here today. Sam Soverel already sixth in points right now, as Isaac Kempton leads the way after narrowly missing out on today's final table just a few hours after he took down the PLO event, which you can watch in full on our YouTube channel as well. We have that event available for you. It was kind of a hilarious final table. Lots of crazy big pots, of course. Mr. Shuda hitting quads was quite entertaining. Donnie, we're back with the 2-card game, the Cadillac of poker, no limit hold'em, and of course a stacked one at that.
Yeah, these players are all extremely experienced, extremely good at no limit hold'em, the 2-card game. We've already seen Sam Soverel win an event this series.
Don't worry about him.
I'm not worried.
100. I think we're in for a great one.
I know. These guys are not known to back down. The action will probably be fast and furious. Looking at the big blinds, Oya sitting on 69. Nice. He's our chip leader. Sean Winter to short stack with 15 big blinds. Brewer on 18. Wilson on 22. So we're likely to see lots of action here in the early goings, as all players are guaranteed $78,000 and $313,000 up for grabs for the winner.
Our biggest prize so far at this USPO.
Today we have a 25K no-limit event kicking off inside the studio, already underway. Started with 30 players. Later registration open for the next 4 hours. And these guys, of course, are all going to jump into that event as soon as this event ends. So we're looking at a pretty nice turnout, Donnie, for the first 25K.
Yeah, nice turnouts in every event so far at the USPO. So I can only guess that that is going to continue through these final 4 events in the home stretch, and it's absolutely great to see.
Yeah,
thanks so much for everyone hanging out with us over the last few days. We have tomorrow's 25K No Limit stream, then a day off on Sunday, and then we're streaming again live on Monday and Tuesday for the conclusion of the 2023 USPO. 2 25Ks to come, and then, of course, a 50K No Limit Hold'em to cap it all off. There's Darren Elias, 2nd in chips currently. World Poker Tour legend.
4 WPT titles.
Unbelievable.
Crusher.
Total crusher. Here's a look at the chips in play. The 5Ks, 25Ks, and 100Ks currently making their way around the table, as Brewer and Winter, the only 2 sporting the shades here. Winter with his trademark aviators.
Let's do some Ace King versus Jacks. Something.
I don't want to be involved in anything, dude. I want to watch on the sidelines.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Let us know who you're rooting for today in the chat. This is quite a different lineup than we had yesterday.
This guy take you guys out.
I already got Chef AB out there yelling about Sean Winter to win.
I've seen him do it.
Oh,
must be his brother or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The chef's he's a regular in our streets.
You were there? Are
It's
you?
happened more than once.
Oh, really?
What do you mean?
If you're with us in the chat and you've been watching over the last few days, let us know how many of these streams you've caught. I'm curious to see how many returning viewers we have. As always, this commentary and the chat is going to derail at some point if you're new to this.
Well, it all depends on the action. A lot of Team Winter out there. Clown, Dad
wow.
City, Bartek.
What is this, coffee?
There's some love for Sam
Yeah.
from Javier. I'm just playing with you, Chef. It's all good.
Come on, what is Daniel talking about?
What?
They physically fought the other day?
No.
Morning and Bobby.
No. Nick called him like a pussy or something, and Matt was just like, all right, you want to go? And just walked over, and then Nick got super fucking scaled and sat in his chair and was like, no, I don't want to, man. It was fucking great.
I have no idea what this Nick guy looks like.
He would get his shit rocked by Matt. It's a pretty great video. And then Matt's just like, right over there, man. We can go.
The drama in the poker
Maybe like
world
Matt's side battle.
is reaching new
I don't know, I
heights
think Nick's
with
heavier.
each ongoing day. Nick Airball and Matt
Based on
Berkey
what you guys said yesterday.
amidst
Mayweather.
a heads-up challenge.
I don't know about you.
They were
Reaching new heights. Hold on.
135.
the drama.
Back in the day,
I want
back
the
in
cage
my
fight.
day,
Fuck
Right.
this heads up match.
these guys actually got in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Lex Veldhouse versus Elke.
True.
They might be
And
better.
was it
fighting.
Antonio versus Sorrell?
Yep.
Or was it Brian Rath versus Sorrell? I forget. Antonio got in the ring
Brian Rass
versus Kevin Hart
Yep.
at one point. I mean, they've gotten in the ring before. Olivier Bousquet versus JC Alvarado.
Oh, yeah.
These guys have actually fought. These new age people, they don't actually fight. Come on.
I think the difference is that those guys actually liked each other. These guys seem to really hate each other. And it's kind of peak cringe, some of this drama. It is peak cringe. Let's let the chips do the talking. Or actually set up a fight, like Donnie said. It would be fun to watch. Brandon Wilson picks up this small little pot here. We're on hand number 4. Haven't seen any major action just yet. Let's look at the bio sheet here of Brandon Wilson. New kid on the block. Only started playing poker during the pandemic.
I could never do
Finished
that.
3rd earlier in event number 3. I am curious, though, for the people who are following along with the drama on Twitter, mostly. Which side are you on? Are you Team Airball or Team Berkey? Let us know in the chat.
So I believe you can.
Did see Kyle in the chat asking about
Yeah, I
the
don't know
clock
anybody can.
and
I
saying
don't know
that
what
they
we're talking
tank
about.
too much. There is a clock in play. Every action, you only get 30 seconds to act. The players have those little time extension cards. You can see like the silver square cards / plaque looking things. Those are worth an additional 30 seconds each. So there is a clock in play for this.
Elias here with the raise. Ace-5 offsuit, making it 100K. Action folds around to the big blind. This is going to be an easy one for Elias.
You got any
Not a San
bets?
Francisco fan?
Yeah, I got a little dog.
Actually, they did me pretty
One of
well.
those fucking hideous ones, those annoying ones. You ever
Yorkie.
throw it like Daniel? Kick it.
Surprised they dropped as
I can't
fast,
do it.
though.
I want a cat though.
Playoffs.
It's weird because I hate the small dog.
Cat guy.
They got
You
destroyed
kind of look like
by,
a cat.
Well, they
Yeah,
want
well,
one like that.
5th string QB.
I want to get like a
Yeah,
ragdoll cat.
A what cat?
A ragdoll?
What is that?
It's like a breed. They're pretty like friendly usually, and I don't know. They want a lot of attention and shit.
Sam Soverel, a cat person.
He's I would have guessed he was a cat person. I would have guessed he had
Actually,
7
what I really want
cats.
is one of those fucking cheetahs, like a Dubai cat. Like a
Elias
50-pound
again with
murder
the raise, making it 100K with jacks. A nice looking queen 10 of hearts for Chris Brewer. Brewer sitting on 16 big blinds.
10 seconds.
I grew up being a cat person just because we weren't allowed to have a dog, so I grew up having cats.
800?
But now that I have a dog, I'm realizing that I've been a dog person all along, which is kind of funny. Meanwhile, Brewer with the big 3-bet, making it 800K, practically committing himself to this pot here, leaving only 15K behind. Action folds back over to Elias. He moves all in. Brewer with the call.
Jacks, ace, king? Nope.
Jacks, queen 10. Wow. Donnie, loosey-goosey from Chris Brewer here. Moving all in with queen 10 suited for 16 big blinds versus an under-the-gun raise.
Is that a good name?
Perhaps
Ace
Elias already winning 2 pots to kick off this final
Shuffle
table.
tracking?
No.
Made Brewer think he was
Don't give him any data.
messing
I was
around.
gonna say.
Building his models in his head.
I feel like he ran the shuffle machine. Like he understands something about it. He tracks where the cards are. And
Here comes the
I'm
flop.
better with the hand shuffle.
8-8-5. No help for Brewer.
I hope it becomes 8-8, man. Fuck Darren.
Jesus.
Give Darren a bow. 8.
King on the turn. That's not going to help Brewer. He's looking for a queen and a queen only. Or else he will be our first player to hit the rail. River card. Let's see it. It is the 4 of spades. Chris Brewer eliminated in 6th place. Wow. Donnie, let's talk about this shove after we see Brewer depart. $78,000 for Chris Brewer, who's likely to hop into the 25K that is just getting underway here in the room.
Always wins.
16 bigs versus undergun raise.
I
Queen
mean,
10
he's
suited.
likely just looking to take
You always
advantage of a
win,
situation
Gary
where
always
he
win,
might
I
think
always win,
Darren Elias is
everyone
abusing
always
the
wins.
table a bit here in the early going. Darren has a lot of chips. He can be coming in undergun with a little bit of a wider range than most, trying to put pressure on the more medium stacks because there are some shorter stacks at the table. Brewer thought queen 10 suited was good enough.
That's the third. No, high.
Block some
that's the
key
third
hands
place.
that Elias could have. Thinking maybe, you know, worst case scenario, he picks me off with 2 nines, but we're still flipping, you know, that type of thing. Obviously, we know the result. 2 jacks, though, for Elias. Easy call for him. Held, and see you, Brewer.
Elias now our chip leader with 3.7 million chips, 73 big
I
blinds.
think I'm a headbutt Darren.
Great
Bust out
situation
pretty
for him.
quick. Trying to run it up.
People in the chat, you know what to do if someone asks, is this live? You should all ask if it's live.
All right.
That's right.
Troll them a little bit. By the way, 64 likes on this video. A little underwhelming. We're going to do some giveaways today on the stream. It's going to be a fun
5
one.
off you.
We're going to give an annual subscription out when we hit 400 likes.
Also.
That's our first target of today's show. Here's a look at the chip counts presented by Global Poker. Like I said, Darren Elias now on top. Sean Winter still our short stack, sitting on 12 big blinds. It's basically anyone's game. And if Winter is able to double through someone like Elias, then it's going to get even closer together. 13 players cashed. Isaac Kempton was the chip leader for quite a while yesterday. And look at this hideous chrome Ferrari. This might be the ugliest car I've ever seen. Just so you know, we're sending 3 annual subscribers to play in the $1 million free roll PGT Championship coming up in December. All you have to do is be an annual subscriber to PokerGO, and you're automatically entered into our raffle. We're picking 3 annual subscribers to play in the $1 million free roll. And guess what?
The ace of clubs when I do that.
You're going to have just as good a chance as anyone else.
King, 5.
Use promo code DREAMSEAT to take $20 off your annual subscription.
Definitely queen out there.
Get in the mix.
You didn't
Watch
have
all our
one of
new
those.
content. We have High Stakes Poker new episodes.
Exactly.
No Gamble, no Future new episodes, as well as, of course, the upcoming World
Live
Series of Poker starting on June 1st.
You have an ace in your hand?
I had ace of clubs. I mean, I could
You
easily
have
have had
that
another
fo-
club. I'm not saying I was bluffing.
Get that fox and shit again.
I'm just saying I definitely had ace of clubs.
Club flush.
For those who are not in on the joke yet,
Yeah, where I just had fucking.
whenever
number
someone
one.
asks in the chat, is this live? You should all be spamming, is this live? Just to troll them a little bit, because we find it funny that people think that somehow this is not live. It is called a live stream after all. We're not like the other brands that pretend like something is live even though it happened many, many years ago. Soverel here with action on the button. A7 offsuit comes in for a raise.
640 you.
Ace jack.
Maria asking, can we give away some hoodies too besides the subscription, please? You know what? Not a bad idea. At 400 likes, we'll give away an annual sub, and then at 700 likes, we'll give it away a hoodie. How about that? We got to keep the people engaged. Sean Winter, Jack 7 suited. Looks a lot better than it is. Masashi Oya yet to win a hand, while Darren Elias has already won 4 hands. And here's a potential clash brewing as Soverel raises it up with 10s. Elias with 8s on the button. Elias, the ever intimidating stare.
10 seconds. Raise to 275.
3-bet from Elias in position. Soverel started this hand with 41 bigs. Makes the call. Let's go see a flop. 2 pairs in action. Soverel with by far the best of it, but
right?
plenty of scary flops to battle on here. Ace 3-5. Donnie, either player could represent an ace here, right?
Either player could, yes. Elias going to continue here. Nice small bet. Gets the stare from Mr. Soverel. Soverel did come along for 1 straight there. See which way Elias wants to go with this here. Continue the aggression or take the showdown value route. Looks like he's going to do the latter with a check behind. 6 on the river. Doesn't change too much. I mean, a 4 does make a straight now, but Soverel checks. Elias checks behind. Soverel's going to take it down.
Wow. Pretty tame ending to this hand.
Yeah, I mean, likely overall it's a rather tame hand because of the stack that Sean Winter has. Sean Winter being on 12 big blinds, these guys don't want to go too crazy with their chip stacks.
Here's a look at Sam Soverel's live tournament success. This guy is an animal at the table. 153 cashes, 59 6-figure scores. That is unbelievable. Only 2 $1 million plus ones though. 28 wins, 20.4 million in total earnings, and 9th currently on the PGT standings. Donnie, he's like a metronome. Like every single year, he just shows up, makes his money, does his business. Very impressive to watch.
Dipped.
Yeah? Really? You saying I could have doubled?
You didn't want those points?
I'll wait for a safe flop, man. I didn't get one.
So, now I
I
switch
saw
to
you
this
get
one?
Isaac with those 8s. I should have just launched it.
Same suit. This is how I like it. 9-4 and aces. Jonathan Little's here.
Darren Elias from Boston, Massachusetts. Super random Darren Elias. Actually, no, sorry. I'm thinking of Brian Altman. I was riding bikes with someone a couple weeks ago, and he asked what I did, and I said, "Oh, I'm working in the poker industry." He goes, "Oh, do you know Brian Altman?"
It's a random name to just pull out.
He went to high school with Brian Altman.
There you go.
Some random guy. How many titles does he have at the World Poker Tour?
3, I believe. I think he just recently got his 3rd. 2 or 3 for sure.
Wilson here with the race to 100K. Oya with pocket fives.
Raised to 285 to 85.
Oh yeah, here. A little bit of a loose 3-bet. Winter here, 10 big blinds, ace king off. This has to be going in, you figure.
Absolutely. This is exactly the type of spot that he's looking for.
He might do one of those things where he raises, you know, about 98% of his chips. We see Winter do that quite a bit. Just in case these two get it all in, he might be able to fold for a pay jump.
470.
There you go.
There it is, 470. The committing raise from Sean Winter. Action folding back to Wilson, who has a really strong hand, Donnie. Are you worried here about Oya in the middle? Are your tens shrinking, or is this a spot where, in Wilson's situation, where you have 23 bigs, you're going to have to go for it?
If Wilson has any experience playing with Oya throughout this USPO, we obviously know that Wilson is a bit of the new kid on the block here. But if he's familiar with Oya's playing style, I think you have to get this in.
It's like all 26 guys. The normal structure.
All in.
And there it is.
Wilson moves all in with tens. Oya caught in the middle. His fives end up in the muck. So $285,000 is sort of like a tip that Oya is leaving for whoever wins this hand. Winter all in and at risk with ace-king offsuit. Wilson with tens. We got a fair flip here. 1.4 million in the middle.
You have pocket tens? What?
Winter asking if Oya maybe folded tens to make himself feel a little better.
You've been pretty good at flips, but I sucked out versus you yesterday.
With my hand.
Tens?
The hand I have now.
Oh, yeah. But you got Foxen too. Maybe we chop. Hard to chop when he has fives.
Here comes the flop. Jack 10-3. Wow. Wilson spikes a set. Winter now looking for a queen to make Broadway, or perhaps running diamonds to stay in this event. Turn card. 9 of hearts.
Turn a boat.
Doesn't change a thing. Winter needs a queen or he is out. Is it there for Sean Winter?
No way. Come on.
I kind of think queen.
Good luck, Brendan.
Sam Soverel
GG, Sean.
thinks it's coming, but it's not there. It's quads on the river instead for Wilson. And Sean Winter is eliminated in 5th place, takes home $104,000 as Brandon Wilson chips up to $2.1 million. And all of a sudden, we got a really, really close battle here. The difference between first and last is only about 22 big blinds.
Sean Winter's 3rd cash of this USPO.
How does that look for his points, though?
169 points, so he's currently in 11th. Chris Brewer, with his finish, is up to 4th place, sitting on 264 points. But lots can happen from here on out. Sam Soverel, I believe, can take the lead now for sure, depending on how this shakes out with these final 4 players.
You know how much you have about? Like 2 points on?
2-1.
All of these players have already had results at the USPO, so can move quite a bit up the standings. 313 points up top, in addition to that $313,000 first place prize. Could be another fun one here. Small blind versus big blind. Soverel comes in limping with the 2 10s. Likely going to see a limp re-raise, just given Elias is going to raise here. Yep. Elias makes it 200K, 4x the big blind. Soverel has this one set up nicely for him. There it is. The limp re-raise from Mr. Soverel, 750K.
Love to see it. Big fan of the limp raise. Stacks, of course, much closer together. ICM perhaps less of a factor now. These guys willing to tangle. If you're in a live situation here, Donnie, is 750K a little too rich for a hand like King Jack suited?
No, I think King Jack is too much of a hand. King Jack suited too much of a hand to fold here. You're going to be able to play in position. Elias is going to make the call. We're going to see a flop. Jack, 3 deuce. Elias takes the lead. He also has a backdoor club draw. Not the worst flop for Sam Soverel, so we'll see how he wants to play this one after limp re-raising pre-flop.
This must be frustrating for Soverel. Even before knowing that Elias has exactly King Jack. Still, the fact that you're seeing an overcard here in a pot that's so crucial for your stack size is not a very comfortable situation to be in. If you're Elias though, Donnie, can you bet this, or are you trying to perhaps eliminate one street of betting just because Soverel does have a lot of strong hands in his range as well?
I think you can just bet this and try and get it in. I mean, there are going to be times you might be behind.
In Soverel's shoes, Elias's range includes much more than just a jack. How do you see this?
I think Soverel is going to have to call, given this sizing, at least one street. I don't think Soverel is going to do any sort of check raising here. Now that would essentially turn his 10s into a bluff. Not going to get called by worse likely, so I don't want to do that, but your 10s are still too good. We obviously know Elias has a jack. There is an overcard on the board, but crucial turn card here.
Ace on the turn. That might slow Elias down.
That might slow both these players down for sure.
I mean, Soverel already happy to slow everything down. This is a little extra dash of frustration for him, as it gives Elias's range one more chance to beat him.
Check, check. Queen on the turn. Or sorry, queen on the river. My apologies. I think it'll be hard for either player to put another chip in this pot. See Sam Soverel closing his eyes there, taking a little power nap maybe. Thinking through all the different scenarios that could happen. The range that he puts his opponent on.
Almost every single overcard out there. Both players happy to get the showdown here. And exactly what I was saying, Soverel frustrated that the jack came out.
I think as soon as you see Darren Elias snap check behind you, know you're not good. You know he has too much showdown value.
Absolutely. All right, chat, let's liven up a little bit. It's been rather quiet. Here's a look at Darren Elias' live tournament success. 176 cashes, 30 of those were six figures, 13 of those were wins, 10.8 million in total earnings. 83rd right now on the PGT ranking, but he's going to make a big leap depending on the points he gets today. The top 40 automatically qualify for our PGT Championship $1 million free roll at the end of this year in December. Let us know where you're watching from. Let's see who we got in the house. When we hit 400 likes on the video, we're going to give away a free annual subscription. And by popular demand and request, we're going to give away a free hoodie when we get to 700 likes. It pays to be part of a broadcast. It pays to have some fun here in the chat, and we love doing it for you.
10 seconds. Raise 110.
Another nice hand here for Mr. Darren Elias. Looks like he's going to go to battle again with Sam Soverel, who opened the button with the 6-5 of clubs.
Here we go. We got London, Boston, New Jersey, Tennessee, Latvia, Maryland, Cape Town, Finland, SoCal, Israel, Virginia. Oh, man. I'm going to be out of breath if I have to shout out all of these places. Chapala, Mexico, Russia, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Comic Collector says, gosh, I love poker. Hey, man, you and me both. It's been well over a decade of me being in this game. And I still can't get enough of it. Soverel, by the way, with the button race to 110K with the beautiful-looking 6-5 suited, but Elias fighting back right away, and that's enough to take it down.
There's more on the other side, Sam.
Our buddy Digital Warfare is back. Said it finally stopped snowing.
Oh, in Livingston, Montana?
Finally stopped snowing.
If I ever pass through Livingston, Montana, I'm just going to walk into a random store and say, hey, have you ever heard of Digital Warfare Records? It must be a shop or something. Meanwhile, Warren Buffett in the chat says, anyone playing 1-2 at Red Rock tonight? I mean, I can't make it tonight, but I do love playing at Red Rock. We've had some mixed games there in the past. Stations Casinos, by the way, doing some work. Lotus of Siam opened up at Red Rock. One of my favorite Thai restaurants.
There's a Lowe's coming right by you.
There is, yeah. I'm actually really excited. Vegas and Henderson are expanding so rapidly. Elias just continues to raise. Wilson moves all in from the small line for 2 million chips with ace-deuce offsuit. Wow. I mean, it's a quick fold for Elias, but Donnie, what do we think about that?
I mean, that's an excellent play, I guess.
I mean, it's an
One that's a bit over my head.
Aggressive move for Wilson. It works. All in for 40 big blinds with ace-deuce offsuit. Here's a look at our Event 7 final table. 2022 earnings, with the exception of Brandon Wilson, all players won at least $1 million. Sean Winter had a stellar year with 3.7 million, but we've already lost him from today's final table. Darren Elias, the elder statesman, with 36.
That hand with the ace-deuce, that's the type of hand that I think Chris Brewer was trying to achieve.
Right.
You know, Darren Elias probably getting a little bit out of line with the chip stack that he has. Just so happened that when Chris Brewer did it, he had 2 jacks. Here, he had the old ace-7 off, so straight into the muck. And then Wilson here, queen 10 of diamonds on the button, opens it up.
Jonathan Simmons says, Elias has enough to really get aggressive now. Yeah, he does, and he's really going after it. He's won 7 hands already at this final table. Masashi Oya still has not won a hand. We got Cleveland in the mix. We got Kiruna, Sweden. And it's still snowing there, as expected.
3-bet here from Masashi Oya.
P. De Bork says the Irish Open is coming up this week, the oldest tournament in Europe. How about a shout out to our Irish, to your Irish? I mean, much love, man. Irish Open. Strangely enough, one of the only events in Europe I've never been to. I did play, however.
I've always wanted to go to that one.
Yeah, I've played in Ireland. I've played in Dublin at the, I think it was called the Fitzwilliam Card Room and the Jackpot Club. This is when I just turned 21, way back when. I played the, I think it was called the IPO International Poker Open. It was like a €100 event buy-in. It was like 5 starting days. There was like, I don't mean, in my memory, it was thousands of players.
Did they have an EPT in Dublin?
They did, yes.
They did?
They did. EPT Dublin was on the menu.
I can't remember if I feel like I went there, but I don't know.
I was 21 when I went there. It was a good time. Played poker all night. They had these grilled cheese sandwiches at the poker room. It's phenomenal.
175.
Wilson here called the 3-bet from Oya. Check on the flop. Oya takes the lead on the turn. I think this type of board favors Wilson more than it does Oya, just in terms of range allocations. So we'll see if Wilson wants to continue here. He does have the open-ended straight draw. Wilson does make the call.
Andrew Cole says, Remko is an absolute dinosaur. I'm only 35 years old, but I've been in poker since I was 18, so that's almost half my life.
Gin on the river for Wilson. The nut straight.
I mean, Oya is just going to keep sitting on 0 wins at this final table. Misses on the river.
I think Oya might get a little crazy here. I mean, he's eyeing up the stack, leaning over the table.
10 seconds.
There he is, reaching for chips. And it looks like a lot of them.
Oh boy. I mean, from hero to 0, if Oya really steps out of line here. What is he representing here, Donnie? We go check on the flop, then he check calls the turn, and now he leads on the river for 575?
No, he bet the turn.
Excuse me.
He led the turn.
He led the turn,
Now
led
he's
river.
leading river.
Apologies.
I think he's trying to represent a 10 at this point. We can obviously see that not only does Wilson have a 10, he's got the queen to go along with it. So if Oya does happen to have another 10, you know, Wilson's got him beat there.
Big spot here for Wilson. The paired board should not scare him all that much. Donnie feels as though we're gonna get an all-in move here.
I think so as well.
1.5 million.
1.5 million.
Leaving a few chips behind here, but of course, way more than Oya can afford. Wilson picks up a massive pot, and Masashi Oya, without having won a single hand, is now down to 1.8 million. Sam Soverel still a short stack with 1.2 million, but Oya not trending in the right direction. All right, let's have a look at their first recorded live cashes. Darren Elias all the way back in 2008. Masashi Oya with the biggest debut score, also being a win back in 2021. Same can be said for Brandon Wilson, however, the win that he booked was quite a bit smaller. Donnie, when was your first live tournament cash?
115.
Don't know.
Probably 09.
No, I think it was before that.
Wow, you're old.
I think it came when I still lived in New Hampshire. Because I remember there was a little series going on at this poker room. I think it was called like the Poker Room.
Great
at
name.
the Seabrook Greyhound track. I forget what it's called now. It's got a different name. And it's like got a DraftKings Sportsbook in it now, whatever. But anyway, back in the day, they had, I don't know, like a little weekend series. I think it was 3 events over like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of thing. I think I made the final table of 1. And I wrote to Hendon Mob.
Like 3.5.
Oh,
Being like, hey, like,
Yeah.
can you put this on Hendon Mob? And they first came back and said, you know, no, we don't normally put. At the time, they didn't like put dailies and stuff on Hendon Mob. I said, well, this wasn't actually a daily. This was like a series that they had.
right.
I said, was the name of the series. This is whatever, you know, blah blah blah, etc. So it got on Hendon Mob.
And
That was before like I was in the poker industry as much as I am
What
today.
about you?
So
4?
you know,
A little over 4. I think.
took a while to find out how to contact Hendon Mob. I don't even know who was in charge of Hendon Mob back then, but
Donnie Peters, July 2009. The $250 No Limit Deep Stack
There you go.
special at Seabrook.
And I remember, so funny, so you play in this one part of like the Greyhound track, and then they moved you to like another part for the final table. So we get to the final table. There's 2 guys there looking like you and I with headsets on doing radio commentary.
No way.
Like internet radio commentary for this.
That's phenomenal.
And I remember when I moved my chips in, I had like maybe 3 or 4 stacks of 20. And I moved like one around and then pushed them all in. And the one guy I can hear, he's like 10 feet from me. I can hear him. He goes, "That's Donnie Peters. He knows how to push his chips, and he must have been learning from Gus Hansen."
Oh, my God.
He said Gus Hansen. I was like, oh, my God, really?
That's incredible.
And I started like laughing when it happened. I think I had 2 7s, and I think I was up against Ace Jack and lost. But I was like laughing at the time because I was like, he's like right here.
Meanwhile, Sam Soverel makes it 110K. Oya looking for any sort of help. Makes the call from the big blind with King 8 and flops 2 pair. Wow. It looks as though Oya was trying to force something, and all of a sudden he catches 2 pair. And things break right for him. Trouble here for Soverel with pocket aces.
The Brook, that's what it's called now.
It's still there?
Oh, yeah, still there. And it's one of those places where, like, a portion of the money that they take in through rake and tournament fees and whatever goes to charity. That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
they're able to run it in New Hampshire.
If you walk in there now, would they still know you?
No, but funny is that one of my wife's best friends, her father is now on the board of this place.
That's
They
hilarious.
live out here,
Oh, really?
but he's like in the finance world and like all this sort of stuff. I guess like some group that he's part of acquired this place, and he's like now sits on the board. I was like, I used to play at that place. They came to my wedding because they were like, oh, we're going to go there for like the first time. I was like, okay. But I didn't know that they had redid the whole place and made it nice. It was a dump before. I mean, it was like the worst. It was like a rundown Greyhound track banquet hall. Like, picture whatever you would see in the movie. That's what it was.
That's amazing. Meanwhile, Soverel continues for 240K with aces. Oya in a great spot here with top and bottom. How is he going to play this? All in.
I was going to say, I think the money has to go in here.
Wow. Soverel, of
Soverel's
course,
never folding.
not going anywhere. God, first 10s and Elias flops a jack. Then he gets aces and Oya flops 2 pair. Soverel only 5 outs, or he'll be your next player to hit the rail. He's not dead yet, though. He's got the backdoor clubs, backdoor straight draw. Plenty of opportunities for Sam Soverel. Turn card. 6 of clubs. All right. It's going to get a lot more interesting here. 16 outs now for Soverel.
Rule of too many outs?
Yeah, usually it is. River card. The 6 of heart. Oh, sorry, 6 of spades. And Soverel makes a better 2 pair. And Masashi Oya still has not won a single hand at this final table and is now down to just 9 big blinds. What a disaster day for the Japanese pro. Came into the final table as the chip leader, and yeah, doesn't really know what to say at this point. Soverel with a massive double up here. Ooh, there it is. There it is, almost apologizing for hitting 2-pair there. Let us know in the chat, are you starting to feel worse, or are you starting to feel sad for Oya for just being unable to get anything going? Playing 30K, 60K with the 60K big blind ante. For the people in the chat, as we're talking about our first live cashes, what was your first ever live tournament score? Where was it at? What year? Let us know. Date yourself a little bit. I hope we got some people in the chat going way back to the 90s, maybe even before that. My first ever live tournament score that's recorded on Hendon Mob was in 2011. I made the final table of the Estrellas Poker Tour in Madrid. Finished in 4th place. Funny story about that final table, Donnie. We were down to 6 players, and all of a sudden, and this was recorded for TV. This tournament for Spanish TV. There was a power outage at the casino when we got down to 6 players. We spent 3 hours waiting for them to be able to resume the tournament because the power was out.
3 hours?
3 hours, yeah.
Good Lord.
I think I busted at 5 in the morning in 4th place.
Well, that's just insane.
Of course, lost the chip lead pot. Kings versus ace 10. My opponent spiked an ace. Action folds back around to Soverel here. Or folds to him, I should say. Ace 8 suited in the small blind. And Elias finds the better ace. What do we got here? A lot of people feeling bad for Oya. Chris Rick says, never played a tournament. I really want to. Chris,
you're missing out.
You're missing out. You should go to a casino nearby. I'm not sure where you live, but even the nightly tournaments, the lower buy-in events are great. Great fun. I love playing at South Point myself. It's because I live right next door to it. Fleeting fights. 2017 at the Star Casino in Sydney, Australia. Thomas Wharton, 2010, Foxwoods. Donnie, were you a Foxwoods regular?
Yes, I used to drive 2 hours to play at Foxwoods. Like 5 days a week.
5 days a week? I love that.
I'd make the drive from New Hampshire all the way down to Foxwoods.
Mohegan Sun also?
Didn't really play at Mohegan Sun. The games were better at Foxwoods. Foxwoods had a massive room. Eventually Mohegan opened up their room, made it a little bit better, but I always felt back then, at least, the games were better at Foxwoods, so I always played there.
Meanwhile, Elias really getting hit by the deck here. Flops top 2 with ace 10. Soverel with 0.3% equity. He's going to need running 8s to win this thing at Showdown. Fresh off of a double up. Soverel has some chips to play with. Chef AB says the Grosvenor in Birmingham back in 2014.
Shooby Dooby said they love South Point.
Yep. Matthew Lebowski, 2009 main event. First live tournament ever after qualifying online. I was so naive that I was very confident and got the cash. That's amazing.
Love it.
That's amazing. Elias bet 140K on the flop. Soverel made the call. 5 on the turn. Elias now with the check mark, but there are still some chop outs for Soverel. Totoki says, first tournament I ever played, I finished 3rd back in 2007. That's awesome. Petty Fox won $40 at bar poker yesterday. Congrats. Billy Tomey, 2009 Foxwoods. Joshua Sprick, $60 tourney in St. Charles, Missouri in 2008. Cash for $1,500. That's a nice.
I won $20 off Tim Duckworth and flips yesterday.
That's, I mean, call Eric Dennis. Put it on Hendon Mob. Elias continues for 525. Very tough spot here for Soverel, Donnie.
10 seconds.
It's like there's almost like no way you can fold this, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least here. He might be able to get away from it on the river, given the sizing that Elias goes with, but this is a very tricky spot. Deuce of diamonds on the river. About as blank of a blank could come. Soverel checks again. Thinking Elias will go for another street of value here.
10
It's
seconds.
just how much. Soverel stack his size that he could shove this.
All in.
There it is.
What a brutal run for Soverel. Every time he plays post flop, he gets into trouble.
I think Soverel really does just beat a bluff here. And now it's, you know, what bluffs does Elias have?
10 seconds.
Soverel looking at Oya's stack.
Yeah. Oya sitting on 9 big blinds there, so Soverel, if he does fold, will still have a decent number of chips. Almost 3 times what Oya has, so not totally out of it. Can certainly come back from that. Sam Soverel just slides all of his time extensions forward.
Soverel not happy in the slightest about this spot. The question is, can Darren Elias do this with a bluff to go for 3 streets? How do you feel, Donnie?
I think it would be hard for him to continue with a bluff like the king, queen, king jacks, queen jack, stuff like that. If you have like something like a king, queen suited, you know, yeah, you flop a gutter, you might flop backdoor flush draw, but the turn did not bring a backdoor flush draw and it paired the board. So
I always wonder how well these guys know each other, you know, as far as playing style goes, and how much that plays into decision making. Would you have rather seen a small bet from Elias, or is this just like set up perfectly to?
I think all of this set up pretty well. I think he sized it well on the turn to get that shove in on the river. Just trying to extract maximum value throughout this hand. So overall, it's just kind of running through the combinations now, thinking, well, he can't have that, he can't have that, you know. So
If you're just tuning in, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. We're going to do our first giveaway at 400 likes. We're going to be here all day with our free stream. Soverel seems convinced that he doesn't have the winner here. Otherwise, he would probably not be acting in this manner.
wonder if there's any portion of Sam's thought that is thinking Elias might be trying to push him off the same type of hand. If Elias has like an A7 in his hand, they're chopping, but Elias knows that if he puts maximum pressure, he might get Sam to fold an ace and fold out a chop.
I love Soverel's mannerisms.
I know.
It's just great.
And in that case, you know, if you're Sam, if you are thinking about that, you're only calling to win half the pot, right? So it's still tricky.
Got Justin in the mix here from Melbourne, Australia. Says, best poker stream. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate it.
Love Melbourne.
James says, played a $55 tourney 7 times at the bowling alley, never cashed. Hey, man, 8 times the charm. What do you guys think? Is Soverel going to call or fold? Let us know in the chat right now. Call or fold? What's he going to do? He seems to be really on the fence. Like, I could see him just do that move where you just sort of like slam down the chips in frustration, like, I can't fold this. But I could also see him just aggressively flick the cards towards the dealer in disgust.
He's not happy about it.
He's not happy at all. Darren Elias found the right move. Wow, the chat overwhelmingly thinks he's going to fold.
They often say if you think long, you think
How many
wrong.
more do I have? How many is that?
Right now it's 7.
Okay.
Wow, he's burning all his time extension chips. He's only got 2 left, I think. Sam Soverel tosses him into the muck. Darren Elias takes this one down without showdown.
How many are? 7?
7.
You owe 7. Wow. The longest tank at this final table.
One of the longest tanks we've ever seen.
Yeah, you're right. You are correct. The chat was right. The chat thought that he was going to fold, and he does throw it in the muck.
I can't believe I folded.
You see Sam's reaction there when he heard the words all in from Darren Elias. Certainly not happy to hear that.
He said, I can't believe I folded.
Anyway.
Well, once he sees the result of that hand, he's going to be patting himself on the back.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. JJ Warren says, commentators, who do you think will win? I mean,
hard to bet against Darren Elias.
I was going to say, Darren Elias has a chip lead, 5.4 million.
50% of the chips in play.
Yeah, that's very impressive. I got to go with Darren Elias. I know it's the lame to bet on the chip leader. You know, taking the favorite is never fun, but
it also seems to be his day.
Yes, so
he's picked up a lot of really
Yep.
good hands. Things have worked out in his favor. You know, the King Jack versus the 10s of Soverel. He didn't lose a lot of chips when he had 8s versus the 10s of Soverel, so it just seems to be kind of trending towards Darren Elias.
Elias, meanwhile, picks up ace-jack off in the small blind.
should do.
Again, a very strong hand.
250.
It also helps Elias in this position that Masashi Oya is sitting on 9 big blinds, because Darren Elias can really use that chip stack as a weapon against Sam Soverel, against Brandon Wilson. As long as Oya stays there and stays short and can't find any hands to get his money in to either double up or get eliminated, Elias can just pedal to the metal, baby. And we know he's going to do that.
Meanwhile, Bryce Williams in the chat says, when are chat pros ever wrong? Exactly right. The chat pros.
This might be the only time they were like unanimously right.
They were.
Everyone said fold.
Here's a reminder that Masashi Oya still has not won a single hand yet. Let's do a prediction. How many hands is Masashi Oya going to win at this table? Is he going to get? Is he going to get the 1 at least? I mean, he has down to 7 bigs. Is Oya going to win a hand, or is he going to go from chip leader to busto without winning a single hand?
I don't like the ace of diamonds as much.
Mihir Shah says, commentary team, say hi to India. What's up, India? It must be the middle of the night in India right now. What's that?
Who made that? It had to be Sam.
Can we get a slow-mo replay of that, please? Oh, dude, how crazy is this? I just said, is Oya going to win a hand? He's down to 7 bigs, and he picks up aces the very next hand. This is unbelievable.
And Elias here does have a very playable king-queen off.
Oya moves all in. If you spam 1 in the chat right now, I'm going to lose my mind. Oya finally trying to get off that 0 mark.
If you said 0, you can't be feeling too good right now.
I mean, hey, I've seen aces lose plenty of times. Plenty of times. Here comes the flop. Oya at risk with aces. 5, 3, 4, 2 spades. Could not have wished for a better flop. That is as clean as it gets.
We're gonna chop it up.
I was gonna say, Elias almost rooting for an ace now to give himself 4 outs for a chop. If there's a 6 or a deuce would be even better. That's not gonna help. Masashi Oya finally gets his first win of the day. Still only sitting on 1 million chips. Came into the final table with a whole lot more, but hey, as long as you're in the tournament, still win this thing.
395.
Zach Bell says, Wilson has been living the dream. 2 final tables in the USPO, only been playing since the pandemic. Yes, really impressive stuff from Brandon Wilson. Great to see him here as the new kid on the block. BC says, just joined, how's the drama? Anyone close to tilting or anyone acting up? I mean, Sam Soverel probably on the edge right now. Had to make a massive fold for his tournament life. Earlier, he lost with aces. But sorry, no, he stayed alive with them. I was going to say he was behind with aces. Managed to sneak out a better 2-pair on the river versus Oya. Wilson has been very, very quiet at this final table.
How much did he just double for? You don't have to pause it.
395 pushing point.
You be sweating that shit?
Huh?
Sweating it?
My hand with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking big time. I never use these time extensions. I wanted to have 30 of them. I think I'm making you guys wait out the level, if I could. I don't want to leave.
Is 250.
Elias comes in with a raise from the small blind with the 8 deuce of spades. Making it a little bit more than 4x. See how Wilson wants to approach this Jack-9 off in the big blind. Certainly playable. He is going to make the call. 2 biggest stacks remaining. Going to see a flop here. 560K in the middle. King, Jack, 4. Only 1 spade. Wilson with a pair of jacks. Up to 94% equity in this hand. As he shields his eyes from both the lights and the view of Darren Elias. Elias going to stay on the gas here though. 175 is the bet. Wilson makes the call. Nine of diamonds on the turn, giving Wilson 2 pair, leaving Elias with absolutely nothing. He's got 8 high, he's got 0% equity. I mean, it's just.
Sometimes you got to blast.
I mean, this is a spot where you blast because you ain't winning the hand otherwise. You either just completely shut it down with a check or you just go blasting away. He does check, likely waving the white flag here. Now, if Wilson saw Elias's hand, he would obviously check behind you.
10 seconds.
See if he can get his opponent to stab.
450.
415, 415.
Right about half pot. Elias folds before the chips are even in the middle. And that's that.
Wilson's been rather quiet, but every time he gets involved, he does seem to have the best of it. Haven't seen Nacho Barbero in a few days, Donnie. I'm worried about him. Is Nacho still in the mix?
He was out there today. He's out there today.
Good. Nacho, of course, started off strong, making 3 straight final tables. Has been quiet since then. But hey, he claimed it's the year of Nacho, so that means he's probably due for a final table real soon.
130.
Soverel coming in here. Ace-8 raises up to 130. Brandon Wilson picking up the 9s.
What do you think about Wilson putting his chips in front of his cards?
Well, Sam Soverel was doing that the other day. Sam Soverel was in the seat that Darren Elias is in today, but Sam Soverel was doing the same thing. I even think that Sam Soverel was like putting them back even more. Shove.
Wow. Soverel getting played back at in the strongest possible way, and of course quickly releases the ace-8 offsuit. And we have the haves and the have-nots right now. Darren Elias and Brandon Wilson, 80 and 65 big blinds respectively. Soverel and Oya, 20 and 14 big blinds respectively.
Very much trending Wilson versus Elias.
Exactly right. Here's a look at their biggest career live scores. There's some 7 figures in there with Sean Winter, of course, the biggest one. The 2018 Party Poker Caribbean High Roller, second place for $2.4 million. Brewer and Soverel, each winning a tournament for $1 million each. The Paris Super High Roller and the Aria Super High Roller, 2016 and 2023. Darren Elias has never cashed for over $1 million, but boy, has he won some massive events in his career. These guys all know how to close one out. It is funny to me when players, when a player's biggest score is not a win, then I'm always like, what's your biggest win? And then biggest win can be interpreted as biggest victory or biggest cash.
135.
135. 135.
For the people in the chat, I know that, you know, you and I both will have this problem at some point, but what would you be prouder of? Getting second for $2 million in a tournament or getting first for $1.5 million? Which one would you brag about more? What do you think?
More money.
More money? Always?
100%. I'm taking more money.
So if someone asked what's your biggest win, you would say $2 million, but actually I lost, heads up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how I would answer the question, but yeah.
Show me the money, says New Yorker in the chat. Of course. It's all about the money. If you're just tuning in, we were doing a giveaway at 400 likes. We're almost there. People, please smash that like button. All our giveaways on YouTube are for subscribers to our channel only, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're still hoping to hit 400K subscribers real soon. We are trending towards 392,000, and we're so happy that everyone is with us here on this ride. We're going to do a lot more free streaming. Got some free streams coming up as well during the WSOP. Later this year, of course, Poker Masters is going to be back. Super High Roller Bowl. The PGT Championship $1 Million Free Roll on the books for December. And you could even be in that tournament.
That's right.
Donnie, give us the Dream Seats again. What is it all about?
The Dream Seats are special seats that we're giving away to compete in the PGT Championship that Remko just talked about. There are going to be various promotions throughout the year for how people can win them. The biggest one we're running right now, 3 annual subscribers will be drawn at random to come out to Vegas and compete in that tournament. You have to be an annual PokerGo subscriber. So if you're a monthly or a quarterly subscriber currently, you can upgrade to annual. If you're not a PokerGo subscriber, you can just sign up. If you use the promo code DREAMSEAT, you're going to get $20 off the regular annual price, taking it down to $79.99. Of course, with that annual subscription, unlimited 24/7 access to high-stakes poker, no gamble, no future. All of the World Series of Poker coverage we have coming up. That includes, of course, the WSOP main event to take place later in July. And you could be one of those 3 coming out to Las Vegas, competing in the PokerGo studio, 500K first place prize on the line. Maybe you're sitting next to Daniel Negreanu on one side, Jeremy Osmus on the other side, maybe Phil Hellmuth across the table. He just won an event the other day. He could get in that free roll as well. truly the poker dream of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
So get in there. For more information, you guys can go to pgt.com/dream-seat. I'm also going to drop that link into the YouTube chat, but that's pgt.com/dream-seat. And we'll keep that site populated, that webpage populated with all the different promotions that we have running on how you have a chance to win a dream seat.
Little update on the payouts. The remaining 4 players are guaranteed $130,000. It's $156 for third, $221 for second, and $313,000 for first. So real serious money up for grabs here in this event as Oya raises it up with ace-queen offsuit. Takes one down. His third hand of the day. Darren Elias, by far the most aggressive player so far, has won 12 hands already at this final table. Oya started today with 3.4 million chips, still only sitting on 1.2 million. But hey, he's still in the tournament. All right, we hit 400 likes. Time to do the raffle.
There, yeah.
Let's go. Let me think of a good question. If you're new to the raffle, all you have to do is answer the question that I'm about to pose in the chat. Your answer doesn't really matter because I'm picking a random winner anyway. But you have to be a YouTube subscriber in order to enter the giveaway. And the prize for this one is a free annual subscription to PokerGO. My question is, how do you take your coffee? Ooh. How do you take your coffee? Let me know in the chat. What's your order? When you go through the drive-thru, what do you get? Are you a double pump vanilla kind of person? Let me know. How do you take your coffee? As I'm sipping on a black Americano here. Shout out to the waitress at Aria who just brought me a coffee. Everyone is automatically entered into the raffle. Give you guys a few minutes and I'll pick a random winner. I love doing these random questions. You see the funniest responses. Colin here, vanilla sweet cream cold brew. That's actually a really good drink. I'm a big fan of that one. I must say the cold brew gives me the jitters though usually. Just too concentrated.
When did you start drinking coffee?
That's actually a great question. I think you were there.
Oh, really? I would assumed you were like
12. No, actually, I'm fairly new to coffee. As we are looking at a pretty interesting hand developing here, opening a straight draw for Elias with 8-5 suited, top pair for Oya, and Elias picks up a pair on the turn. This hand could get interesting. No, I think my first ever coffee was at the 2014 or 15 WSOP when I just could not take it anymore. Just so tired. And my first ever was like a venti cappuccino with a bunch of sweeteners and a whole bunch of extra stuff in there. And then I slowly went from cappuccinos to lattes to black coffees to espressos. And now I just snort beans or something. Just go all out.
Seems like the trajectory of many people.
150.
Seeing some good ones here.
Elias coming on the turn with a little bet. Don't think Oya's going anywhere with his top pair. He also has a gutter to a straight if a 9 does come.
If you're in Oya's shoes, Donnie, wouldn't you want to get some money in on the flop right away? Leading on this draw-heavy flop?
I mean, I think Elias is going to take a lot of, he's going to bet a lot of hands on the flop. Kind of surprised he didn't bet his hand, but just maybe thinking he didn't want to get check raised off such a good draw, especially with those backdoor spades. Oh yeah. Getting a little tricky on the river with a check. Elias doesn't bite, checks behind.
Very disciplined from Elias, of course, realizing that showdown value is going to be a factor against some of the missed draws, but Oya takes this one down with the king. All right, after the upcoming hand, I'll announce the winner. So final chance here to submit. How do you take your coffee? If you want to be eligible for the giveaway, please like the video and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Andrew says, I use an Italian Bialetti stovetop. I love that. On the weekend, I tend to treat myself with one of those. Latte, half milk, half cream. Says Proper Zinc. I've never heard of that. Interesting. Interesting take there. Hazelnut roast with lots of cream, says Oliver. David Welchel with breakfast liqueur.
There is
Yeah.
the 130.
Living the dream. Soverel with a nice looking ace-3 of spades. Let's see if this ends up in the middle here. Definitely a shoving hand for Soverel, sitting on just 17 big blinds.
Yeah, I think Soverel can get this in here. I mean, Wilson hasn't been playing a ton of hands, but this might just be too good to pass up on.
Soverel shoves, and Wilson with just 9 high kicks his chips or his cards into the muck. I wanted to make a comment about Brandon Wilson's chip stack, Donnie. How do you feel about the fact that he has his stack in front of his cards?
I mean, whatever.
I think it's rather interesting.
Yeah, I mean, these players can kind of do whatever they want. They all know each other, playing in kind of an exclusive setting. A little bit more home game-like feel than not. We saw Sam Soverel do that earlier at the event that Sam Soverel won when he was sitting in Darren Elias' seat. He had his chips in a very similar position to what Brandon Wilson does, and will put his cards on the card reader behind his chip stack.
Time for the spin. Entering all the submissions into my randomizer. The winner is Philip Mazzone, or Mazzoni. Philip Mazzone, congratulations, you win a free year of PokerGO. And while you're at it, check out GTO Wizard. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to gtowizard.com/PokerGO to check out the #1 app for poker players. You can practice for free on GTO Wizard or take a 10% discount on their paid subscription, which is a great way to brush up on your poker game with a big summer of action coming up. Philip Mazzone, sugar, almond milk, and cream
What do you have?
in his coffee. Congratulations.
3.2.
Our next giveaway is coming up shortly, so if you lost, don't worry. Giving away a hoodie in just a few. Elias with queen 6 suited in the small blind. Philip, if you're listening, please send an email to social@pokergo.com. Include a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube account, and I'll be in touch. Wilson calls from the big blind with king 7 off. Excuse me, it's a limp pot. I thought Elias had raised, but he did not. Deuce 5-6, 2 clubs. Elias flops top pair. John Sales says, saying hi from London, England. Loving the content, Remko. Thank you all so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. If you want to follow us on Twitter, my handle is @Remko Rinkema. Donnie_Peters alongside me. We'll be here all day until we have a winner. Elias leads for 90K. Wilson makes the call with just king high. Maybe thinking about taking this away from Elias on the turn. Little does he know, Elias actually has a hand. Wilson picks up some outs, now has a gut shot to the straight. Donnie, question for you here.
Yeah.
Toby-san says, to the commentary team, who is better, Sam Soverel or Darren Elias at live poker?
Good question.
It's about as close as it gets, right?
For sure.
I'll say this.
I mean, both are just absolute killers. I mean,
I think Darren Elias' style might be more. I mean, I'm just totally guessing here based on what I've seen.
80.
A little more of a read-based game, where Soverel might be a little more of a solver-based game.
Yeah.
And I'm only
I
saying that
agree with
because
that.
I'm saying that because Elias has been in poker for so much longer. I think his background is more, you know, in the live streets, reading players. Having said that, I can only imagine that for Elias to still be winning at this level, he's probably also doing some studying on a website such as GTO Wizard. Elias goes for the check call route on the turn here as Wilson tries to take it away from him. Oh, wow. Wilson hitting gin on the river. His gut shot straight comes in, and all of a sudden that pair of sixes Elias had shrinks as there's now a straight on the board. Wilson has the 7. Donnie, could we see a large bet here from Wilson trying to bet Elias off a chop from that perspective? Of course, only a 7 really beats Elias here.
It's all about sizing on this board for Brandon Wilson. Don't want to get too crazy with it, but of course you do want to extract some value. I'm thinking we'll see 30 to 50% pot, will be my guess.
Time extension.
Wilson in the dying seconds of his first time extension, throwing out what looks like 500K. Donnie, what a tough spot for Elias here. Straight on the board. Wilson betting with a 7. This is no fun. Do you guys think that Elias can get away from this one?
10 seconds.
This would be such a hard fold for me to make. The fact that Wilson...
You have to remember, though, you're just calling it a chop. So, you know,
right, but
you're only calling to win half the pot. So your odds aren't as good as normal.
At the same time, though, Wilson leads on the turn. Sorry, bets on the turn after the action is checked to him.
How long is our break?
10 seconds.
And Darren trying to figure out what kind of 7s Wilson would bet the turn with, that he can also then bet the river with, of course.
Okay.
Time
10
banks
minutes?
being used here.
Yes.
One of those hands I would guess would be 6-7, but
Thanks.
there's a 6 on board.
Let me do it when I
Elias
come
has
back.
a 6 in his hand.
Big implications here.
10 seconds.
He does lay it down. Yes, Darren Elias folds his cards, and Brandon Wilson picks up a big one, now up to 3.9 million in chips. Elias down to 4.3, and we will be right back. Going on a short little break. We'll be back in about 4 minutes. Get yourself a coffee refresh. We'll catch you guys in just a few.
Take your game to the next level with GTO Wizard, the #1 app for poker players. Start crushing at GTOWizard.com. Third cash of the series for Darren Elias.
Got it?
9 players have 3 cashes this series. That'll do it for Chris Brewer, out in 6th place, $78,300, 78 points.
Don't give him any data.
I might have a 9
He's the
or
only
higher
player in
this
history to
game.
have won 2 different series championships.
Haven't had one yet.
David Peters has won 2 USPO series crowns. You can tell I like the stats. Big
know.
stats guy.
I know. I know. I'm well aware. It's not my
Know
first
this.
time working with you, Jeff.
Soverel opens here with 10s. Elias with 8s on the button.
seconds.
We'll 3-bet here.
275.
275K. Soverel starting the hand with about 40 bigs.
Yeah, certainly interesting how you would proceed here with the 10s as Soverel, seeing that winter is pretty short. Normally 10s is going to be such a good hand up against Elias's 3-bet range here.
See that glance over towards the other stacks. Choosing to just call.
Feels like the appropriate line given the ICM considerations.
Yeah, get that, right?
Ace 5-3, 2 clubs.
Pretty safe for both players holding, certainly Darren with the betting lead. Makes perfect sense why he would just go ahead and continue.
We'll do so for 175,000.
Obviously for Elias, if he bets here and gets a fold out of Soverel, that's going to be a really nice pickup. You're going to be able to deny equity to a lot of those 2-over cards that Soverel may be calling with, you know, some of those suited Broadway hands that would have called a 3-bet, but might be a little concerned once Soverel finds the continue.
Soverel checks again as the 7 of hearts rolls off on the turn. Elias will check back. 6 of spades on the river.
Take your game to the next level with GTO Wizard, the #1 app for poker players. Start crushing at gtowizard.com.
Welcome back to the PokerGO studio in Las Vegas. It is time for the continuation of the Event 7 final table of the 2023 US Poker Open. Today, we are playing a $15,000 no-limit hold'em event, and we are down to the final 4 players, all looking to grab some points to have a chance to win that 60-pound, yes, 60-pound Gold Eagle trophy, with a fat 50K cash bonus. Jeff Platt and Maria Ho are on the call on PokerGo.com. My name is Remko Rinkema, Donnie Peters, as always, alongside me. And here's a look at the tournament update. 4 players remaining, average stack 2.7 million. First prize, $313,000. And the average stack right now, 33 big blinds. So we're going to see some big action in the coming hour or so, as the blinds are now 40K, 80K, with an 80K big blind. Auntie, thanks for everyone who's still with us in the chat. Very much appreciated. Who are you guys rooting for? Let me know. Darren Elias has been putting on quite a show. Brendan Wilson has been fighting back bravely, and both Soverel and Oya have not been able to make much stick today, but they are still in the mix, still with a chance to win. Action right away here. Elias with King-Jack offsuit. Oya with Queen-Deuce suited. Elias made it 160 before the flop. Oya defended his big blind. action goes check, check. Elias's king high is still good. Elias is always very deliberate. Queen high versus king high, and Elias takes this one down at showdown. Are you still alive, Donnie?
I am.
What are you thinking?
I'm just enjoying the poker, man. Whenever there's very high level poker being played and we're on commentary, sometimes I just forget to talk because I'm watching. Maria Ho is over on PokerGo.com alongside Jeff Platt. They're handling the commentary over there.
I could try a Maria Ho impersonation, but that would not go well.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oya doesn't waste any time with king 8 offsuit, moves all in to snag Soverel's blinds. I mean, the way the chips are distributed, Donnie, these two boys have no chance but to go for a quick double up here.
For sure. As we take a look at event number 8, 25K, no limit hold'em, the first of 2 25Ks on this year's USPO schedule. Dustin Bonomo, always a beast out there in the field. Got a lot of chips early on, huh?
I mean, this man is at the top of the all-time money list and the only player in the world with more than 60 million in career tournament earnings. Brent Kenny, of course, was the first to eclipse the 50 million mark, but he's now in second place. Negreanu also at 50 million now, and then Chitwick and Kuhn. Negreanu working hard on adding more to that total. Has played tons of BGG events to start off this year. Made some side bets even, so we could see him at many final tables this year is my prediction.
A lot of money on that screen,
1
man.
million?
A lot of money. Soverel moves it all in with the Jack-10 off from a small blind. Elias doesn't pick up anything and chucks him on into the muck.
Oya with a very playable 10-8 suited, but hey, if you're short like this, do you want to tangle as well? Decides to lay it down.
Nice one here for Soverel. Ace, Jack suited on the button. See how he wants to play this one.
All in.
Gonna risk it all. All 14 blinds. 1.17 million into the middle. Gets it through.
just tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. Smash the like button on the video and help us get a little closer to hitting 400,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's go. Come on. We ain't doing this for free. We do this for subs.
And please know that Jeff Platt and Maria Ho are indeed on the call on PokerGo.com as Soverel raises it up to 170K. We got Jan in the house from Wisconsin. We got New Orleans in the house. Love to see it. West Palm Beach, North Carolina. Ronald J says Elias looks very locked in. I feel like that's his sort of like normal state of being. I think that if you're at the dinner table with Darren Elias, he's going to stare you down the same way.
I don't think I've ever seen Darren Elias at a poker table not look locked in.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's a 1K or a 25K.
Very much so.
Always looks absolutely locked in.
Which poker player do you guys think would be the most fun to have dinner with? Speaking of stare downs. Elias with the raise.
Fun
once
to
again.
have dinner with.
Yeah. You want to hear some stories? I mean, if you pick Negrano, you know that it's going to be a vegan restaurant, so
yeah, but
choose wisely.
I can get down with that.
The Win has some good vegan options. Isn't Steve?
I think probably Antonio Esfandiari is up there for me.
Just because of his stories that he has?
A lot of stories. He's fun.
He'll pick a good restaurant?
He will definitely pick a good restaurant.
Evan says, definitely not Phil. I mean, Phil Hellman's got stories for days.
Yeah, stories about himself and the private jets that he's on with the big names that he hangs out with.
Buzz Aldrin says Sammy Farha.
I don't know. I don't know if Sammy would be that good. He might lack personality.
I mean, people who are picking Doyle are making the right call. Roma Deli with Doyle and Todd. That'd be a lot of fun. Just listening in on father and son talk about the good old days. Action folds to Elias in the small line with 6-4 suited. Elijah says, I missed the question. I was wondering, who would be the most fun to have dinner with?
Vince Van Patten.
Have you ever been to dinner with Vince?
Yeah, usually results in like playing some sort of crazy prop bets where he's trying to hand out money. He's got a lot of fun stories, not only from the poker world, but his time in the tennis world. He's got a real housewife. He has a wife. A lot of fun there.
Limp pot here once again. Last time we saw this play out, Elias ended up losing quite a few chips, but this flop very favorable for him.
Someone mentioned Tony G.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
had dinner with Tony G on occasion. It's pretty fun. Generally absurd and fun.
And loud.
Yes, very loud. I wonder if he still has Tony Resort.
I was going to say, you went there, right?
Yeah, I went to Tony Resort. Had dinner at Tony Resort. It was very loud and crazy.
Was it in Kaunas?
I don't know. I mean,
in Lithuania,
I don't
right?
know. Yeah, I know it was in Lithuania. I just don't know where it was exactly, but yeah. Been to Lithuania many times. Sneaky underrated. I think, generally speaking, I think anywhere is kind of underrated. Just
right.
If you know the spots, you know the right people.
I always say this to my girlfriend. You know, when it's like on the news that there's like, I don't know, some kind of crime happening somewhere abroad, I always say every place has its good spots and its bad spots. The same can be said for a place like Las Vegas. So you should never be influenced by one piece of bad news. I've had so many good times all over the world. been fortunate enough to travel quite a bit. As Darren Elias hits a full house, action goes check, check on the turn. Let's see if Elias checks again in hopes that Wilson is going to fire at this. Wilson did miss. Had a gut shot straight draw. Was looking for a 4 again, the same way he was just before the break. Elias does opt to lead for 425, pot size bet. Wilson kicks it into the muck. Mingawas Rasmas, who I assume is from Lithuania, says Tonia Resort in Trakai. Does that ring a bell, Donnie?
No.
But you still have some Litas, right?
Yeah, I should just torch them because they don't exist anymore.
Walt Moody says Joe Hashem. Yes, I think Joe Hashem way up there as far as great dinner conversationalists. Would all obviously take you to the right spots. Owns a restaurant, I believe, in Melbourne. I think I have a standing invite from Joe from a couple of years ago. We did some podcasts during the pandemic. If you want an interesting take on how Joe Hashem experienced the 05 main event final table, search for Run It Back Joe Hashem on YouTube. Of course, not right now, but at some point. I dialed him up, and he ran me through the entire experience of his main event final table. Here's a look at the event overview presented by GTO Wizard. 15K buy-in, 87 entries, 13 cashed. We're playing for $313,000. Action folds to Oya on the button with King 10 suited. Some people calling for Magnus Carlsen. I wish Magnus would play more poker. Now that he's relinquished his title as world champion of chess, I'm sure he has more time on his hands to play some poker. He played the main event last year, busted out on day 1. Hoping to see him again this year. 170 is a raise from Oya. Let's see if Soverel catches anything. No, he does not. And the same can be said for Elias, 7-3 suited.
Elias might peel here. It is suited. Hard to really give up any suited hand from the big blind when you're facing the small raises that are common in today's poker. We do see Elias come along. His equity not the worst, 35%.
I mean, I used to always say, but it was suited, and now I feel like it applies again. People play all these suited cards from all over the place.
Oh yes.
Elias flops a gut shot. Oya flops top pair. Oya continues for 125.
Keeping it pretty small here. Could see Elias continue. I mean, he does have backdoor clubs. He has the gutter ball to the straight with the 6. Small enough bet here, he can take the shot. And that's what he's going to do. There it
Wow.
is. 6 on the turn.
Bing.
Bing.
6 on the turn, and Elias hits his straight. Oya with top pair and not a whole lot of stuff to worry about. Donnie, are we going to see a man go broke here?
I think it's going to be hard for anything else to happen other than Oya's chips to go in the middle, given the stack to pot ratio that he has. On the turn before he bet, he had 740K behind. 710 is already in the middle. Him committing 235 of that right now with this bet. I think Elias could certainly put this in and expect to get called.
I mean, if you're Oya right here, chat, if you're Oya, are you going broke here?
All in.
There it is.
Elias moves all in. Oya calls him off right away and is drawing stone dead. Masashi Oya to the rail after Darren Elias peels from the big blind with 7-3 suited and spikes his gut shot on the turn. Oya collects $130,000 and he will not be happy coming into today as the chip leader, busting out in 4th place. I'm sure we'll see Oya again in the 25K, but man, this has to be very disappointing for the Japanese pro. We're down to the final 3. Elias with a massive chip lead, 6.4 million. Here's a look at those chip counts presented by Global Poker. Elias 6.4 million, Brandon Wilson 3.3, Sam Soverel 1.1 million, sitting on just 14 big blinds. I mean, one wrong move and we're down to heads up play. Sam Soverel looking for a quick double up. If you're just tuning in, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. When we hit 700 likes on the video, we're going to give away a PokerGO hoodie, or probably better to give you guys just a PokerGO shop gift card so you can just pick, pick your own. Pick your own. So, PokerGO shop gift card up for grabs. Yarden says he called too quick. Donnie, is there any way in which you can get rid of King 10 there?
I mean, not if you bet the turn like that.
Wait, 790.
Put a 30-year stack in. I mean, you're calling it off.
Soverel here with the committing raise from the button with Queen 9 of hearts. Neither opponent with anything here. Soverel the short stack, but not out of here just yet.
We have 1-4.
I'm telling you. I don't know. I honestly have no clue.
Yeah.
Sorry. You want to buy these, it'll probably be easier after you do your decision.
Wilson limps the 7-4 off. Soverel absolutely dominated him with the 9-4 off. Just two powerhouse hands here.
$215.
Soverel coming with the raise here. Gets it done.
Chips in play right here on the screen. Blues are 5K. Purples are 25, and the Bumblebees are 100,000. Wilson, queen jack off. That's for sure a raise.
170,000.
Donnie, can we get an update on the USPO overall standings when you have a chance?
Yeah, man, I got them right here.
And what are the implications for these gentlemen right here?
Well, that I'll have to look. I do know that Oya moved up to 177 points total from his 2 cashes.
That's like
Sam Soverel had that victory earlier in the series, sitting on 235 points. He should move into first place, I think, no matter what happens from here on out.
check.
Wilson flops top pair here against Elias with bottom pair.
$115,000.
Let's see if Elias is going to come along here with 2 backdoor draws, backdoor straight, backdoor flush.
That's like 400,000.
Elias here with the check raise to 400K. Wilson with exactly the type of hand that Elias doesn't hope he has, as Wilson hides behind his hand here. Doesn't give away a thing.
That's like
Wearing the hoodie, trying to stay hidden.
well,
Wilson makes the call, probably hoping that Elias is going to keep blasting. And if he picks up some outs, which he doesn't, he might continue. Elias doesn't have a whole lot going on. The question is, will he continue to attack here? Elias does slow down. Action goes check, check on the turn. Wilson with the check mark, comfortable as well. No real cards to be scared of in the situation. Looks as though Elias might be done with this hand after check raising the flop. Does check again. Wilson could take a no stress showdown here, or perhaps attempt to get some more value.
$650.
650. Wilson is gonna
$650.
go for value.
50.
650. 650.
Elias with just the 4. Not a whole lot to do here for him.
Seconds.
Elias is going to think about it, Donnie. Do you think there's something here?
Could be something here. I mean, straight draws missed, flush draws missed. Elias does have the 10 in his hand, which blocks some straight draw type hands that Wilson could be holding. You know, the 10-8s, the queen 10s. But he doesn't have any clubs. Looks like we're going to see him call.
Queen Jack.
Wow. Elias with what could be considered his first misstep at this final table, Donnie. How do you feel about this, chat? A little bit too light? Should we give Wilson that much credit for a big bluff? Have we seen him be capable of that? He's been playing so solid. I'm kind of surprised to see Elias call here.
I mean, if you think it through, it's probably all right to call there. I don't think it's totally the worst thing in the world. Might also not be the absolute best thing in the world either.
Definitely a shift in the power dimensions a little bit. Elias and Wilson now almost tied here for the chip lead. Soverel just hanging around with 17 bigs, hoping for a double up.
So if Soverel gets second, at least second, he'll take first place on the series leaderboard no matter what happens. But if he ends up finishing in third place, the winner is going to move into first place on the series leaderboard. So still lots up for grabs here in terms of the points race. And of course, you win the overall leaderboard, as we've said before. $50,000 championship bonus coming your way.
Limp pot once again. Haven't seen Elias raise all that much from the small blind. He's just happy to play flops out of position against Wilson. This time around, ace-10 is still the best hand. 3 spades on board, though. Really impressed with Wilson's demeanor. Very calm, collected.
Yeah, we saw the same sort of thing when he made the final table earlier in the series. So very much a continuation of that. I mean, the kid's arrived. He's here.
Right, right. 100%.
He's been enjoying PokerGo Fit, which is Tim Duckworth's little fitness corner over there.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Tim's got some elastic bands. He's got some 20-pound bar. I don't really know what to call it. It's just a bar. But on breaks, Brandon Wilson has been coming over, getting a little pump
I have
in.
4.2, Darren. Do you know what you have?
More. A lot.
3, 4.
Let's call it 5.2.
I think 5, around 5.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, Brandon Wilson was saying that because of these tournament days, he hasn't been able to get a good workout in, you know, opting to get some rest when he's not here in the studio playing. So on the breaks, comes on over, grabs a band, grabs a bar, gets the blood flowing a little bit, and then gets back in there.
Nothing.
Soverel playing a flop with his small stack, defending from the big blind with 5-4 suited.
125,000.
The problem with this, of course, is that you really need to hit something. And that stack is only going to get smaller if you don't win some pots. I know it's not rocket science, but still.
Captain Obvious over here.
Exactly. Soverel does make the call to see the turn. Hits a 5. We can see how important that 5 is. Raph is saying the chat is full of experts. Of course, it always is. All the experts.
Chat pros, baby.
All the experts are in the chat. Public House Landlord says, hey guys, what is your best snack while playing poker? Meanwhile, Soverel hits running trips. Amazing run out for him. Third club does come in, but should not scare him all that much given the action. Favorite poker table snack? Tough one.
Fruit. Piece of fruit. Some kind of fruit. Banana, apple, grapes.
I like eating
an orange. I don't care.
I like eating kettle chips with chopsticks. I've done that. I have done that. Check, check. Soverel shows down trips.
Oh, shit.
That's fucking funny.
King high.
Darren Elias
King I
didn't
get.
didn't seem pleased there.
You want to buy these chips I can't afford?
Sam Soverel winning a crucial pot here, up to 21 big blinds. Still not much, but it's fighting chips for sure. Kevin Del Rio says, hear me out. The best is pepperoni slices. What, you just eating them out of the bag?
Well, this is right up your alley from Toby-san. Country fries with mayo and ketchup.
Yeah, but
We're not
you
5-5.
cannot
We're
be
not
that
5-5.
person eating fries with their hands while playing poker.
Phil Hellmuth does it.
I know, but I would slap
He eats a whole burger.
I would slap him on the wrist also. Please
And
use
backdoor
chopsticks for your fries.
Diamonds in a gutter.
Public House says he loves fries and mayo and ketchup.
Of course, it's the best combo. Extra crispy fries, nice and salty. Chef AB says stroopwafels for sure. Those are the best. Single package.
I always like a nice trail mix too.
Norman says, how about a snack that doesn't involve hyperglycemia? What's the fun in that? I love falling asleep at the poker table. Elias and Soverel at it again here. Ace, queen, 4, 3 hearts on the flop. Soverel with the ace and the baby heart. If the pepperoni slices are crispy enough, you could even shuffle with them. Soverel checks. Elias decides to take a stab at this one for 80K. Soverel comes along. Oh. No problem. Just hits 2 pair. Excellent spot here for Soverel to chip up once again. Toby-san says, Sam is coming back. I love to see him win. I mean, he's on his way. He's definitely on his way. Soverel hoping for Elias to stab at this. But since he didn't on the turn, Soverel is now going to do his own betting.
500.
Soverel quickly picks it up here as Elias folds. And Sam Soverel now almost back up to 2 million. Not bad, not bad. If you're just tuning in, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Our next giveaway for a PokerGo shop gift card at 700 likes. 700 likes. Pretty close. Pretty close already. Alexander Brown asking, have they done a giveaway already? Yeah, we did one when we got to 400 likes. We'll do another when we get to 700. How large should we make this gift card, Donnie?
You tell me.
I mean, what does a hoodie cost?
I'm gonna see what our current hoodie prices
What do we got
are
in the
at.
shop? What are our best items?
We got
By
a
the
lot
way,
of stuff. We just added U.S. Poker Open merch.
if you want to check it out, go to PokerGoShop.com. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. Personally, a big fan of the active wear in there. Some of the quarter zips. Elias flopping top pair in this 3-handed battle.
85 buckaroos, pal.
All right, so there you go. We'll make it a gift card that can allow you to buy a hoodie. in our shop. Go check it out, though. Lots of cool stuff in there.
PGT hoodies, PokerGO, US Poker Open, as I just mentioned. High stakes poker, no gamble, no future. The no gamble, no future ones are hot. Those are
my favorite.
One of the best sellers for sure. And they're great quality. Remko and I have some good quality merch we got.
225,000.
In the PokerGO shop.
Elias bets 225 and picks it up. That's the voice of Paul Campbell. No, there's not a break in our event. We have a 25K no limit tournament going on right now inside the PokerGO studio. That is day 1. We will be streaming day 2 of that event, the final table, tomorrow here on YouTube. And just to name a few names of the players in the mix there: Nick Petrangelo, currently the chip leader; David Peters, Justin Bonomo, Dan Smith, Isaac Haxton, Alex Foxen, Daniel Negreanu. They're all in the mix in this 25K no limit event. Registration is still open. Currently 35 players in action. JJ Warren asking, do many poker players wear glasses these days? I mean, sunglasses I'm guessing you're referring to. Not really. However, these final table sets with the TV lighting can get really bright, especially when you play for many hours. So a lot of players will only wear sunglasses when they play on one of these televised tables, just because it is a little easier on the eyes. Remaining players are guaranteed $156,000, 313K up top, so quite a nice payday already. Limp pot here, checked on the flop by both players. Wilson playing it very slow here with ace-king. Wilson not investing anything. Might feel a little bit like a missed opportunity with ace-king, but Soverel doesn't have much either. Tobusan is asking, is Phil playing the 25K? Not yet, but he's always there at the end of registration. Phil Hellmuth has not missed an event yet at the US Poker Open. Check, check. Wilson shows ace-king and takes down this minor pot.
Nothing. Couldn't have gone any faster for you, man. That was excellent speed.
Good button, you're good.
Keep getting fucking 3 sevens and we're even.
Action folds around to Elias, who takes the walk with pocket tens. Man, that's not what you want to see when you're three-handed in a tournament like this. 15K buy-in, like I mentioned, 313K up top for the winner. Listen to those soothing sounds as we look back at the winners at the 2023 US Poker Open. Joey Wiseman taking down event number 1. He's been in the mix in every event since. And then Nacho Barbero losing heads up to Ren Lin in event number 2. Nacho went on to make 3 straight final tables. We haven't seen him since, but maybe he'll make a run in today's 25K. And then Sam Soverel with the win in event number 3. Looking back at his cards there, that was a beautiful run for him. There we had the 10K PLO. Alan Lee taking it down, hoisting that little gold eagle trophy. And there, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Hellmuth, winning his first PGT event ever He later went on to sign the trophy and hand it off to Maury Eskandani. Isaac Kempton won the 15K PLO last night. There it is. Flexing on everyone. Finished seventh in today's event as well, and he is currently hot in the running for the 2023 USPO title. And here's a look at the chip counts presented by Global Poker. Darren Elias, 49 big blinds. Brendan Wilson, 41 big blinds. And Sam Soverel still our short stack. He is looking for some help. But hey, as long as you're in the mix, you can still take it down. There's a look at the 60-pound Gold Eagle trophy that awaits the overall championship winner. There's also a 50K cash bonus in this event if you are the overall top earner of points, that is. A few events left. 2 25Ks and a 50K. So plenty more poker action to come here on our YouTube channel. If you enjoyed the content, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be streaming until there is an overall champ, which will happen on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, depending on where you are. Ace Deuce Jack rolls off the deck here as we are now playing 50K, 100K with a 100K big blind ante. We arrive on the turn without much damage on either side. 10-7 versus 8-7. Elias pairs his 10. Vincenzo's saying, I'm going to the Irish Open next week, but I don't think PokerGo will cover it. No, I'm sorry. Not part of our array of tournaments. Elias takes this one down and extends his chip lead. The gap over Wilson is not that big, but still comfortable for Darren Elias, the 4-time World Poker Tour champ. And there's Sam Soverel grabbing one of his favorite drinks, one of those day one sparkling waters. Elias picks up queens on the button. Of course, that's exactly what you're hoping for when you're three-handed for this much money. Wilson either hiding from the light or hiding from his opponents, always with his hand covering his face. To everyone watching at home, what do you do in order to hide maybe tells or to feel more comfortable? Sunglasses, a hat? Haven't seen this move that much of the hand covering the face like this. Wilson has done it in every single hand. Lays down his ace-8 offsuit though in the small blind. Soverel lays it down as well with 10-3 off. If you guys in the chat could only listen to one artist or one band while playing poker, what would you listen to? Or DJ or singer or whatever. Maybe some classical. You only get to pick one. One band, one musician, one DJ. Who would you listen to while you're playing poker? Oh, here we go. We got a ton of submissions in the chat here. Metallica, Dr. Dre, Kenny G. Jimi Hendrix. Man, I gotta add some of these to my playlist. Soverel with just 7 high. Good thing for him, Elias only has jack high. Still got some options. Miley Cyrus in the chat. I'm a huge Miley Cyrus fan, by the way. Some of her live stuff on YouTube, Tiny Desk especially, blows my mind. Deuce hits on the turn. Neither player with a pair. This pot's likely to stay small. Weird Al, Liberace, Slayer, Bach. Well, you guys got a wide range of music. There's Dire Straits, Bon Jovi, Frank Zappa, Dream Theater. Wow, I like Dream Theater, but listen to that poker table, I would probably go crazy. I need something more mellow, something like background noise. Maybe even like a loungy sort of DJ set. You know, keep me focused, keep me in check. As Soverel bets the turn here and picks up the pot. All right, you think you know poker? Check out play.pgt.com right now. We are giving away real prizes. You can make your free picks every single day. We're giving away gift cards for our shop and a whole bunch more. So check out play.pgt.com right now. Just one more way for you to get into action. Check it out right now while you're watching the stream. Mozart is being called Nightwish. Cam Howell says, way to go, Miley, it's so talented. I'm a huge Miley stan. Usually when I'm like working out, I like to listen to metal, rock, whatever you want to call it. Miley just hits a nerve in a good way. Jonathan says, Lil Wayne all the way. Love it. Love it. I'm a big fan. I love it when people make fun of Miley Cyrus. That means you've never listened to her, especially her live stuff. She's done a ton of good covers. She should really do a rock album. I think Miley Cyrus and Post Malone should do a duet, like a grungy one, you know, like some Pearl Jam vibes. 6-7-4 here on the flop. Elias with queen high, Soverel with the open and straight draw. Appreciate everyone for hanging out with me. I'm gonna fly solo for the rest of the stream. Donnie had to run out for a family thing. Please send good vibes. We arrived on the river here with Elias hitting a 9. Soverel misses his straight. Soverel bets 400K. Elias gladly makes the call with a rivered pair of 9s. And Sam Soverel, all of a sudden, back into real danger, down to just about $1 million. And that means 10 big blinds as we're playing 50K, 100K. Darren Elias on cruise control today. What's up, Jimmy Bluffett in the mix? Love to see it.
That might be the only river in the deck I lose money on with that fucking hand.
Sam Soverel, not too pleased, but at least he can still laugh about it.
Oh,
Next giveaway at 700 likes, giving away a gift card to our PokerGO shop. If you want to check it out, PokerGoshop.com. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Raise to 200.
Wilson, A6 off on the button, comes in for a raise. This might be a spot for Sam Soverel. Look at him shrug. Look at him shrug. I mean, he has to go
1 million.
1 million.
Raises to 1 million, keeps 30,000 behind. And Elias also with an ace, lays his ace down. Aces for everyone.
I like that face.
Let's see if Wilson's want to gamble with him right here. Break just ending in the 25K. That's all the noise you're hearing in the background as the kids are going back to school.
All in.
Wilson moves all in. Soverel with the call, and Sam Soverel with the best of it.
I wish you had fucking 6-6.
With the best of it. Soverel a clean run away from being back in the match. Wilson 23% away from being heads up.
You're really thinking over there. There's a lot less actually. The ace too.
Ace 8 versus ace 6. Who you got, chat? Are we going to go to heads up play? 10-7 deuce. Clean run out so far for Soverel. 3 outs for Wilson. There are some chop possibilities. Turn card. The king of clubs. That is not helping Wilson's case one bit. Soverel has now faded a potential chop. Wilson can only win with a 6. The river is the jack of hearts. And Sam Soverel with a nice double up to 2.3 million, and all of a sudden, him and Wilson are very closely tied in chips. It's a match again, ladies and gentlemen. It is a match again.
1,075,000.
Correct.
Running 2 pair, of course, would have been the chop. Wilson took his stab, could not send Soverel to the rail, and 3-handed play continues. How do you guys feel now about the chances of Sam Soverel? He's got some chips.
Wait, 2-7?
Yeah, 2-8.
Doyle Brunson there, 10 deuce offsuit. Maybe Wilson will get a walk. Maybe. But we've seen Elias limp on almost every occasion. And this time he decides to raise. And that's enough to take it down. Blinds go up every 40 minutes, and we just had the blinds go up, so it's going to stay stable for a bit here. Four off for Wilson in the small blind. Decides to limp, hoping to see a flop here. Jack 9-10. Soverel smashes this one with 2 pair. We've got Ian in the chat. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Life is good. Soverel's hand's so strong, he might just take off a card, but it looks as though he's going to bet it right away on this very draw-heavy flop.
50.
Here's a look over to event number 8, the 25K No Limit Hold'em. All the stars are here for this big event. There's Kerry Katz sporting one of our new PokerGO sweaters. He, of course, second on the USPO all-time cashing list with 14. Chidwick not here this year. Fox and Peters, Winter, all in the mix as well today. Sam Soverel at the final table with 10 cashes. All the boys are out to play. Tomorrow we're streaming this event live on PokerGO. Here's a look at the 2023 PGT leaderboards. Lautaro Guerrera still our leader with 774 points. Katz just behind him. Nacho Ribeiro surging during the USPO up to 668. And then Alex Fox and Milan Soviet complete the top 5 as it stands right now. This leaderboard, of course, will run until we get to December. And all of a sudden, wow, look at this. We fell into a big hand. Soverel with a all-in 3-bet, and Wilson laid down king-queen off. That's maybe a little bit surprising. I thought maybe Wilson would have been ready to gamble here, but he does lay it down. Soverel, all of a sudden, second in chips with 2.9 million. Wilson definitely playing a tight game, and so far it has worked for him. He is three-handed in this event, which was a very stacked event. We had Helmuth and Negreanu in the mix yesterday as well. They were both eliminated early on. Soverel making it 200K to go on the button. That's enough to take it down. As mentioned before, $156,000 guaranteed for the final 3, $221 for second and $313 for first. Big money up for grabs. Always nice to start out the year with a big score. These guys have been battling in all these events. It ain't cheap playing on the PGT. That's why we call it making and breaking millionaires. Soverel ace-jack offsuit in the big blind after Wilson limped. Let's see how much more he can charge his opponent.
300.
300,000 is the raise. Wilson still hiding behind that hand. What's your guys' favorite casino? Do we have a Vegas crowd here? I wonder if people have been to Vegas that are watching right now, or maybe you're planning to do so. Maybe we can share some advice for Vegas newcomers. Always looking to drive some conversation here in the chat, especially whenever these guys are playing small pots. I love to get caught up on what's happening. Gary says he loves Bellagio. Jeremy's at the South Point. Landon also says South Point. I live close to South Point. It's probably my home room.
175.
175 is the bet here from Soverel after Wilson called his raises before the flop. Wilson really has to be careful here. Wynn, Venetian, MGM Grand, Orleans, Bally's. Wilson calls again with just 7-6. I wonder what he's up to. Deuce on the turn. Is Wilson going to try to bluff Soverel? And if so, how? This is getting very speculative with just 7-6. Or am I missing something here? Wilson checks a second time. Soverel does have some showdown value with ace high, but potentially wants to just get this done. And a 6 on the river hits. Oh my god, I cannot wait to see the expression on Soverel's face if this goes to showdown. He's not going to expect Wilson to turn over 7-6 offsuit. I can only imagine Wilson wants to get the showdown here. Or maybe let Soverel bluff at it. He does check.
7-6.
7-6 indeed. Soverel puzzled by Wilson's play. Painful river card for him. That's how you do it.
Wow, I got punished for not betting turn.
Here's a look at Brandon Wilson. Started with 1.2 million, now up to 2.7. Blinds wise, he's almost at the same level.
2.8.
Those blinds have gone up quite a few times.
That is what I have.
Oh, we hit 700 likes.
You're not betting it?
Haven't
Love
looked
to see
yet.
it.
Not
That
gonna.
didn't stop you last time.
Time to do the giveaway. The only eligible people are you guys in the chat right now. So, hey, there you go. A little bit of extra value. Let me think of a good question for everyone. Soverel checks. Action on Elias with a gut shot. We're doing a giveaway for a PokerGO gift shop card. PokerGO shop gift card. However you want to order those words. Trying to think of a good question to ask. Something fun, something funny. We've done so many food and drink related ones over the last few streams that I got to think of something fresh. Suggest me a good question to ask for the giveaway, chat, and I'll pick my favorite one. And all you regulars will know how it works. Elias here with the worst of it, decides to bet. Seeing some suggestions. Elias picks this one up, extends his chip lead, and basically...
What?
At 175. Like that's 7-8. How do you pip?
Soverel is still puzzled by the 7-6 offsuit. As I was going to say, Darren Elias with more than half the chips in play. Wilson and Soverel with a quarter each. If Soverel and Wilson end up all in right now, we're going to have a nice 50-50 battle. J-Bone says, dogs playing poker, what's the best breed at poker? And what breed is the best poker player? I actually kind of like that. That's kind of a funny question, so I'll just change it a little bit. For the giveaway, which kind of dog do you think would be the best at poker? This is super random. Which dog breed do you think would be the best at poker? Send in all your submissions, and I'll pick a random winner in a few hands for a PokerGO shop gift card. This is maybe my favorite one we've done so far. If you're just tuning in for the giveaway, which breed of dog do you think will be the best at poker? Producer Aiden is frowning at me, which probably means he has a good suggestion. Which one do you think, Producer Aiden? Border Collie. Producer Aiden goes for the Border Collie. Quick, a lot of stamina. As we have a million chips in the middle here. Elias made a 275 before the flop. Wilson calls in the big blind. Elias bets 350 on the flop with just a pair of fours. Wilson calls with just a pair of threes. Backdoor draws in play. Turn card, jack of spades. Elias's pair of fours are best. Wilson very sticky here with mediocre holdings lately. Of course, ace three suited, a beautiful hand. Still, his stack is getting shorter. Keep those submissions coming. Producer Aiden says, Bulldogs have the best poker face. I like that one too. Elias decides to slow down here. Let's see if Wilson opts to take a stab here. Wilson started the hand with 27 bigs.
1 second.
$350.
I have 350. Is it correct? Yep. 350.
Wilson bets 350,000. Elias makes the call with his pair of fours, correctly assessing that Wilson doesn't have it very often here. River card, deuce. 2 million in the middle. Elias checks again. Wilson checks behind. Elias says 4, and that is enough. Wilson down to just 1.6 million. Darren Elias chipping up. The rich get richer. Elias down 6.8 million. All right, final hand to get your submissions in. Which dog is the best? Would make the best poker player?
Raise to 200.
Maria is asking about the hoodie promotion. Well, we're giving away a PokerGo shop gift card, and that will allow you to buy a hoodie from our shop. There you go. It's much easier for us. Elias versus Soverel here. ICM now a much bigger factor for Soverel, as Wilson is the short stack with 16 bigs. 3 nines here for Elias, a 6 for Soverel. This could spell trouble. Elias bets 150. Soverel, of course, not only thinking about his hand, but also about the fact that Wilson has been on a big downslide lately. Deuce of hearts on the turn. Soverel checks again. Elias with a big one. Might go for 3 streets of value here. The same way he did much earlier at this final table when he had ace-8. In that situation, Soverel made the correct laydown on the river after much deliberation. Let's see if a similar scenario is about to unfold here. Elias continues for 450. Very tough for Soverel to get away from this. We're playing three-handed poker. Oh, he does lay it down. Very impressive stuff from Sam Soverel. Gets rid of his 6. And while Elias chips up, Soverel maintains his advantage over his opponent. Soverel now on 19 bigs, Wilson on 15.
Jack 4 clubs.
Only 2 chips in play here. 25Ks and 100Ks. All right, I got a winner in our giveaway for a $85 PokerGo shop gift card. You can buy whatever you want. The winner is Jeffrey Owen. He said German Shepherd on the question of which dog will be the best poker player. German Shepherd will probably get distracted, eat some chips, go nuts, run around. Congratulations, Jeffrey Owen. Send an email to social@pokergo.com of you logged into your YouTube account. Include a screenshot, and I will be in touch.
All in.
Ace-5 versus Ace-7. Wilson makes it 200K on the button. Elias puts them all in. And Wilson just lays it down. Wow.
450.
Darren Elias finished second in the PGT Heads-Up Championship last year.
You show me 167.
That's on him, man. That's not on me.
Would you guys call that off with A7?
Yeah, 1 point. With
I
the
think I
blind.
would have called in a heartbeat. Ace-2's also here for Elias.
1.35 with the blind.
He might shove again on Wilson to apply the pressure.
All in.
Call.
Darren Elias moves all in with Ace-Deuce offsuit. Snap call by Brandon Wilson. He's waited, and he's waited, and he's waited. And he's got the best of it with Ace-Queen offsuit. Darren Elias is going to need some help to win this hand. Brandon Wilson well on his way to a double up. Whenever I see Ace-Deuce, it just makes me think of Scott Blumstein. Oh, and there's the deuce. Deuce on the flop for Darren Elias. An 8 and a 10 to go along with it. Some backdoor options for Wilson, but a queen would save him right away. Tough luck for Brandon Wilson. Turn card, the 3 of spades. No help for him. Now he's down to 3 outs, and we are 1 card away from being heads up in this tournament. Can Wilson escape here, or is he our next player to bust? River card. It is the 9 of spades. Brandon Wilson eliminated in 3rd place. Darren Elias about to go heads up versus Sam Soverel. Good game, sir. He takes home $156,000 for his 3rd place finish. Elias with a massive chip lead, $9 million to $1.9 million. Wow.
I guess that's ball.
I think it's action about to get underway. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a fun one as Soverel has a lot of work to do to get back into this match. Here's a look at the chip counts presented by Global Poker. $1.9 million for Soverel, $8.9 million for Darren Elias. Heads up, about to get underway. Who you got? Can Soverel make a comeback? Let me know in the chat.
Take your game to the next level with GTO Wizard, the #1 app for poker players. Start crushing at GTOWizard.com.
Welcome back to the PokerGo studio for Heads Up action between Sam Soverel and Darren Elias. This is a 15K No Limit Hold'em event number 7 at the 2023 US Poker Open. And while you're at it, as you just heard Jeff Platt say, check out GTOWizard.com/PokerGo if you want to up your own game. There are tons of ways in which you can get better at poker by using their app, and they offer a 10% discount for PokerGo subscribers. GTOwizard.com/PokerGo. Go check it out. I'm using it. It's really helping me crush those South Point nightlies. All right, we're about to get underway here with heads-up action. I wonder if Soverel is going to go for a quick double up here. He already has $221,000 guaranteed, so what does he have to lose? The winner, of course, collecting $313K.
All in.
Wow, first hand, all in right away. Soverel lays it down. Soverel, 19 bigs. Elias announced all in, and Soverel jumped out of his seat. Jonathan Simmons says this will take 3 hands max. I mean, Soverel's, he's going to need a double up quickly, or else it'll be tough for him to make that comeback. Oh, wow. 2 big hands here. Is Elias going to shove right away again? He could.
All in.
He does. Soverel makes the call. We have an all-in showdown. Hand number 2. Who you got in the chat? Let me know. Ace, king, or sevens? Does it always come 7? Ace, king, the best drawing hand in poker? Can Ace, king do it?
Shop in these spots. Too much math.
Elias.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Elias so close to winning his first U.S. Poker Open event.
Plus, I feel like I'm 0-7 by the universe.
Is he 0-7 by the universe? We'll find out. Flop comes. King, 8-6. Darren Elias grabs the lead and is only 2 cards away.
Take a 9
from winning this. A 9 would be nice for Soverel to open up some more outs. Elias focused on the turn. It's a deuce. 2 outs now for Sam Soverel.
You love that card.
Or this thing is over. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a new champion here inside the PokerGo studio? The river card. It is the Queen of Clubs, and Darren Elias wins the event, takes it down, collects $313,000 and the PGT points to go along with it. Sam Soverel walks off stage. No second title for him in this event this week. Still, $221K. Not a bad payday for Sam Soverel. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. Soverel now first on the overall leaderboard. Elias in second place. Elias collecting a massive paycheck for this event. It's been an honor and a pleasure and a lot of fun to call the action here today. And I'll be back tomorrow with Donnie for final table coverage of event number 8. 25K no limit hold'em event. We've got Petrangelo, Helmuth, Negreanu all in the mix so far. Follow along with live reporting on PGT.com right now. We have live reporting all the way until we reach a final table. And then, of course, you will return tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time to watch yet another final table at this 2023 U.S. Poker Open. Darren Elias hoisting the trophy, now in second place. Thanks all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.